Hey everybody, Jo here again. How are you doing? I hope you're keeping well. Hope you had a lovely weekend. Must admit we did. Do love my weekends. Bit busy demonstrating at a show, but so lovely to actually see so many fabulous crafters and see you in person. But for those of you that can't get to our local shows, I do love the fact that we have our YouTube channels where we can just have a lovely catch up, such a lovely community on here. And I must thank you all for your support and your lovely comments. Everybody at Lavinia and myself, we do love to read them and we answer them where we can. So thank you for that. It does mean a lot. And it's nice to know that you enjoy what we do as well. Now, speaking of Lavinia, we have a challenge every month. Now, if you're one of our new friends and followers, the challenge, it's free to enter. Just pop along to the website. All the details are on the website. And we have a new theme each month. And the winner is drawn at random, so that's brilliant. And you can win a voucher for £40 to spend at Lavinia. Now imagine what you could spend. I'm sure there's something on your wish list. I must admit, I always have things on my wish list. Tracy's such a tinker. She keeps sneaking in new products that I need. Every time I go to the shop, I end up buying more and more. I think my craft room needs one of those expandable sides. You know, like you can get, I'm sure you're all the same, don't we? We start with a little box of craft goodies, don't we? Then we sort of get a bit of storage and a shelf, and then we get a room and we end up just with a whole house, to be honest. I think we're all the same. Anyway, so I thought I'd come in with a little idea for the new theme. So we get a new theme every month. So for June, the theme is Add a Star. Now, we've got lots of stamps that are stars. We've got our North Star, we've got star clusters. So have a look at what you've got. It's a great time to look at your stash. But I thought I won't go for the obvious and use a stamp. I'm going to use a stencil. So this is the design I've come up with. And as always, I've decorated my card and I've got my envelope. This is a 6x6 white card blank. And as you know, love to do my envelope. And I thought we'd add not just one star, a few stars, and using a stencil. But I thought this would make a lovely design now. If you did it all monochrome or in greys, I think for somebody who'd lost a pet, especially a cat, you could make this as a sympathy card. Or if it was somebody who loved cats. So, and I know we're often short of ideas for condolence cards, but I'm thinking using grey tones, you know, it might just give you an idea, because I do think Luca looks so thoughtful there, very reflective. So I hope you like this idea. And again, as always, you know, you might want to use different stamps. You might like the idea of the star, but just think of another twist to it. As always, I love to see what you do. Now I'm just going to put that there. So I've got a piece of 5.5 inch square, and this is our lovely multifarious. And I've already put my line round. As you know, I just like to get a black pen and just pop a line round. And I must admit, I've started batch doing this, and I find it easier if I do a few at once. So I've started sort of just before lunch maybe, or just before a coffee. It sort of inspires me a bit, and I get motivated, and I've done quite a few, and I've got a nice little pile of them now, so when I start crafting, that bit's already done for me. And I'm going to use the lovely Fairy Path, and I've been using this quite a lot recently. Very useful stamp. And I'm just going to use the black, the Nocturne, the VersaFine Clair. And I'm going to stamp that sort of in this sort of corner-ish there. So, have you got a brew today? Cheeky biscuit maybe? I'm really trying to be good, but I'm not doing very good with my brews. Must admit, lots of brews, but I'm trying to be good and not have cheeky biscuits. So we're going to put Luca on top. And I think she'll sit beautifully. I say she, I know it could be a he. The way that the cat is drawn, very feline. I mean, and I know a few of you put photographs on of your cats and they look so similar. And I know there are names that it could be male or female. But I'm just going to say she for the minute. but yours could be if yours is a little boy. Now I'm going to place my cat just on top here. Now, don't be pressured at this point. If there's a gap, we can draw an extra little stone on the way to the top of the path. And if the cat is sitting right on the top stone, well, that's exactly what we wanted. So however it turns out, look, we say that's exactly what we wanted. But as I say, if there was a gap here, you would just draw. Use your fine liner and draw, because that's what we do. Well, that's what I do anyway. So when I was looking at my florals, I wanted to use the dandelions too, because I haven't used this for a while, and I love to do that. Get my stamps out and look for some of my older stamps. And again, you remember, use your acetate. Now I could have put them all the way down, look, but I really wanted to keep this line here. So what I'm going to do is, and you know me, if I have a piece of copy paper, I'm going to tear, I keep it and keep using it. Because, you know, I know it's only copy paper, and I'll keep that because I can get another 2 out of that. And I know a lot of you are like me, we're thrifty little crafters. And that's just going to mask off this area here. So I'll come in with the nocturne. I'm just going to draw my stamping in the nocturne. Now you could introduce another colour at this point if you want. But because I'm going to put my stars in different colours, I'm just going to keep my stamping in the nocturne. Now this one I think we'll have that there. And good press, especially where it meets the paper here. I like that. And then we just want smaller ones. Now the orchard grass or the field grass would look lovely here, but I'm quite conscious I use those a lot, so I think my stamps talk, you see, when I go to bed, and they get upset if they've not been used recently. So it was time to get this one out. So this one's dandelion too. Now here, look, where we've got this, can you see I'm not keen on this bottom edge here. So again, with your black fine liner, I'm just going to sort of join this up a bit. Now, if you have a look on the actual design of the beautiful path, fairy path, Tracy's put some little dots here. So you can see that the path sort of extends. So we can extend that. Now, it's really important here. I'm not altering the stamp design at all, because Tracy has drawn this beautiful stamp, so I'm not altering the design, but I am just going to add a few little lines and little dots just below, and that just extends the idea that there's something down here. It could be grass, it could be gravel, it could be a path. And as I say, I'm not altering that stamp. If somebody else wants to buy that stamp, that's the stamp. I haven't altered it. And it's really important that we don't do that. Often, because people get confused. If I say I added, I don't know, say a mouse in the middle of that, then somebody may want that stamp with a mouse that I've drawn, and then they'd be phoning the office up, and you know, we don't make that stamp. So it's really important. So I'm not altering that, I'm just adding these little dots, just my own little way of extending that design. But stop there, missus, that's the important thing. Don't overdo it, don't overcook it, and that's enough just to fill that space. So I'm going to give that a blot. My piece of paper fell over. I've got a piece of paper with the name of the challenge, add a star, because I thought I'm bound to mess it up and call it something different. You know what I'm like. So I've given that a blot so that I don't smudge it. And I'm going to come in with this stencil, and this one is words too. So this is how our stencil looks. And all I've done is used some of my lovely Lavinia low tack tape. And I was right on the inside, so I know it's my Lavinia low tack and I won't get the wrong one by mistake. And again, it's just a matter of peeling some off. And I just want to protect these areas because I only want to use these two. And I've put a little bit here, look, because for me, that edge is a bit close and I'm a tinker. I know I'm going to get ink over that and I'll end up with a line. So I'm going to use my Elements inks for this, and I've gone for 3 colours. I'm going to start with the blue Atoll. Then I'm going to come in with some green sleeves. We're all upside down today. And then I'm going to add some confetti. I just thought the green, the pink and the blue was a lovely combination. And because the stars are quite small, I've gone for my number 7 brush. I just thought my number 9 would be a little bit too big. You could use it. And my number 3 almost a bit too small. I don't want too much ink, and you get quite a concentrated ink with the smaller brush. So the middle one is perfect for this. So I'm just going to angle, and I'm going to put my first 2 somewhere here. And we'll come in with the blue, and as always, use the lid as your mixing palette. Now, I don't want this too heavy, so I'll gently, and if you start off gently, you can always build it up. Could always add more ink. And as I say, this stencil brush for me is just the perfect size for these 2 stars. Now, if I lift that up, that's lovely, but we do want a tiny bit more. So let's just build that up. A little bit more colour, but not too much. I don't want it too much in your face. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now, again, you could leave this monochromatic. You could add a few more stars in blue. The beauty of this is you can take it to whatever level you wish. Now, I will just give my stencil a little bit of a clean, just to get rid of that blue ink. So just a damp cloth, and then inky binky, so just a dry cloth to dry that stencil. And I'm just going to check there's no water underneath. And then bring this back in. And we're going to come in with the green sleeves now. And my lovely brush with the green sleeves on. And let's have a look. Now this one, I'm thinking, let's turn it around. Now it doesn't matter if I go over Luca, that's fine. And I almost want to go over that blue. I want a little bit of overlap, so I'm going to go for that. So do the bottom one first. And my green sleeves has got quite a yellowy tone to it. It's quite almost a yellowy green. Yes, I like that. But we're going to add another, got a little bit of hair there, another yellow one up here, just a smaller one, I think. Just overlapping there. And it's nice to have them overlapping. You almost get that mix of colours. Yeah, I like that. And I almost want to alter it so that I've got 3 and a 2. So it doesn't look too symmetrical and too sort of contrived. So we'll pop the lid on the green. And then just get our damp cloth again. And then just dry this. Again, just give my stencil a bit of a dry underneath, just in case there's any underneath. And then the lovely confetti. So, let's think how. And again, just take your time moving your stencil around. Got to be careful I don't go out of camera shot. I'm liable to move it, look at my stencil and not look at you lovely followers. So I'm thinking sort of round Luca's head, and I can catch here, look, this star and this star. And as I say, I just want the colours to overlap a little. Now again, nice and light, not too much ink, not too much pressure, just tickle, a nice gentle tickle. Lift that up, and I'll turn it round so you can see. So we definitely need another pink star here, I think, or here. There, I think. Again, I'm just going to put it at an angle because I just find it easier working at an angle. And I think here, just heading up towards the corner, And this one I'm going to do very gently, as though it's in the distance. Obviously, perspective, it would be lighter in the distance, as though it's shooting up that way. Yes, happy with that. So we'll pop the lid on that. Then I don't put my fingers in it. Pop that up there. Give this a wipe. And I'm not going to take my tape off yet. I'm going to wait and see, because I'm going to wait and see till when the design's finished if I decide to add another star. Because me being me, if I take all this tape off now, you know, I'll decide I want another star. It's just what I'm like. So we're going to add some colour. And I'm going to come in with these beautiful pastel, soft pastel pencils to add the colour. And I'm just going to get myself a piece of kitchen roll to lean on. And I'm going to come in first with the white. And this is a beautiful white, just for adding some lovely soft highlights. And I'm just going to give Luca a little bit of shape here. Just round this leg, a little bit of the highlight on the tail. Then a little bit on the back. And just giving it a little bit of a smudge as I go. And the smudging does two things. One, I think it looks better, but also it almost fixes it. It just gives it a softer look, in my opinion. And then we'll add some colour just to our lovely fairy path here. And I'm going to start with a yellow, just at the top of each one of these almost stepping stones. And then a mid-brown. And the mid-brown, I'm just going to bring all the way along here. And then a dark brown. And I'm going to blend these a little, so I'm not being too worried about, you know, proper colouring in. I'm just adding that colour at the minute. And a little bit more shade here and here. And then all I've got is, this is a biodegradable cotton bud. You can get blending little stumps, but I just find these cotton buds are fabulous. But as I say, for me, biodegradable, and then I know that they're safe. But also, I'm actually going to extend this out, look, just where Tracy's given us those lines, so we look like we're almost extending that scene. So I'm blending the pencil here and then just extending it out a little. And the same at the base. And I'm just going to bring that down, and this will just act like shadow as well. And the same here. So blend it, does two things, as I say, smudges it so it looks nice, but also you can extend it out, a bit of shadow. And I think the difference that makes, but also it just helps to fix it. But also for me, it's a lovely quick way of adding colour and an effective way. Now I want a little bit of sparkle for this. So I'm going to come in with my lovely gold Wink of Stella. And I must admit, the lids do, you know which colour it is because of the lid. But again, I'm a bit of a tinker. And when I take the lid off, it's not obvious to me. I know you're telling me that looks gold, but when I pick things up in a rush, so I have actually written the colour on there as well. Just because, you know, my mind does wander. I don't know whether I'm the only one. It seems to get worse as I get older. And I'm just going to, on little tips here, look, these gorgeous dandelions, add a little bit of gold. And I just think it goes with that sort of greeny yellow colour. Obviously, we've got the silver and we've got the clear, but I thought this really brought out those gold tones. And I can just add a little bit on the stem, up the leaf, look. Same here. And then just at the top, where I did the yellow, we can just add that little bit of gold highlight. And I often think it's these little things that make all that difference. On those grasses, look. And it just gives that nice little bit of sparkle, look. And again, tend to do this just on the back, clean it, make sure it's still lovely and gold. And then for me, a little bit of my yellow sparkle poster. And we'll just add that. I just want to, where the very white of the card is, I just want a few little dots to take that whiteness off. But also, if you have gone over the edge of your stencil, if you've got any little marks, this will hide them. Very forgiving. Don't want too much of it. Now, I have managed to avoid Luca, but if you're worried, just cover Luca up and then you won't get any spots. Look, unless you need a spotty cat, that is. Now, I think, as I say, this card would suit so many different occasions. Now, I'm going to use one of our lovely stickers, and these are the sentiment stickers, set 6, I think it is. Now, I think this one I'm going to put reflection on because I do think Luca looks as though she's just staring off, reflecting. And again, for me, just pop the word on my scissors. And then I can just stand up. Now, my original I put here, I think it looks nice, but I could always see, again, would look nice. Actually, I might put this one down here, just because it's different then. Just get it nice and straight. It's good to show you different things. And so there's the original. Share your shine. And that's what we do. We've got such a lovely sharing community on here. And there's our reflection, where Luca is being very reflective. Just put that corner down. That looks better. So as I say, I do urge you to enter the challenge. Add a star. Now, your design can be anything. You can take it. You can use fairies. You could use dragons. How many different designs can you come up with add a star? And you never know, you could be the one putting a comment at the end of the month on here saying, Jo, thank you, I entered and I won. I've got that £40 voucher. That would be fabulous. Do you know, I'd love one of you to win. I really would. Then you could make a nice card with what you win. Or do you know what? I can't wait. Please, I urge you. So you have a lovely evening. You take care of yourselves. And thank you very much for popping in. I do love our time together. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.